Hey, it's Phil here at digitaldjtips.com with today's third commandment in our campaign for better digital DJing. These commandments are kind of designed to give new digital DJs a guideline towards getting out there, getting successful and making it with digital gear. And our third commandment is play out as soon as you can and as often as you can. So 50% of our audience, probably slightly more, in our last reader survey, class themselves as bedroom DJs. They didn't play out, didn't play in public. So I realised that a lot of people watching this are going to be in that position. You know, you've got some digital DJing gear, but you're a bedroom DJ. You haven't had a gig yet. But it's really important that you do get gigs. Get a gig as often and as soon as you can. And the reason for that is that DJing is basically a social thing. It happens in places where there are other people. It happens in public. It doesn't happen on your own in your bedroom behind closed doors. If DJing in public is like sex, then what you do in your bedroom on your own behind closed doors, I'll let you guess. But while you're doing it, you're thinking about the real thing, and that's DJing. DJing is about doing it in public. Now, your best moments are always going to be moments where you've had a great gig, where you can remember the people, you can remember the atmosphere, you can remember how it felt. They don't occur when you're practicing, they don't occur when you're making sure. It's nice to finish a mixtape, but you look back in 10 years and you're not going to remember finishing a mixtape or finishing a mashup. You're going to remember the gigs. I mean, I was just, we have our office here in Spain. It's really hot today, and I was just working out this morning along the beach, and there's a couple of venues where I play along that strip, and it just reminded me as I ran past one of them, one really hot Easter weekend. It was hot really early, and I just didn't expect what was going to happen. It was an afternoon DJ set. By about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the evening, the place was rammed. Families, people drinking mojitos, people dancing on tables. You know, my normal chill out set had become kind of a funky flamenco-y kind of early summer house set. It was brilliant. And I ran past another bar, a place where I currently have a residency, and my name's there on the board. You know, Sunday nights, Phil's playing, and it's a good feeling. It's a great feeling to be playing in public. And it's what DJing's about, and you deserve it. You deserve to be playing in front of a crowd. Don't put it off. That's our advice here. You're not going to get better unless you play in front of a crowd. You can get to a certain stage in your room. You know, you can get the technical stuff nailed, and you can get to a stage. You can get your skills more or less there, but they're only the skills you need. It's like learning to kick a ball. You know, if I'm going to use the analogy of football or soccer to the Americans. It's like you can learn to kick a ball in your backyard, but that ain't going to teach you to play the game of football. It's not going to teach you. You're going to learn when you play with other people, play against another team. It's the same thing. You're not going to learn about programming or mood or volume or dealing with the public if you're in your bedroom DJing all the time. I know I'm driving this home, but it really is so important. And the difference is really, in the old days, and by the old days I mean the pre-digital days, and this is why it's a particular problem for digital DJs. In the old days, you'd go out and you would buy your DJing gear, you'd buy your record decks, and you'd buy your mixer, and there's a steep learning curve attached to getting all that stuff working and getting used to using it and learning the skills. But also you would buy music all the time. Now music was way expensive, way more expensive than it is now. You'd be buying records all the time, and the only way you could justify that to yourself and to your family was that it was an investment. You were investing and that you were going to make that money back. And you made that money back playing gigs, by going out and playing and feeding your habit for music, feeding your vinyl addiction by playing, getting your money and heading down the record shop and spending it. So there was this kind of route that all DJs took, and that involved playing out. But now that's kind of been cut because digital DJing is so cheap. And the music is so much cheaper than it used to be, that now that link between starting to DJ and getting that first gig is it's a lot looser. It's like getting engaged to be married, but no one's ever getting married. You know, if the engagement ring costs you a lot of money, you're probably going to marry the girl, but if it's throw away, then who knows, you know, it's that kind of thing. It's too easy to be a digital DJ or call yourself a digital DJ now, but you're not until you're getting out in front of a crowd and playing in public. So there's lots of resources that we can help you with. This is something that we're quite strong on digital DJ tips. We've got a lot of articles to help you approach bar owners, to help you prepare your set for your first gig, to help you deal with the nerves. Yeah, I still get nervous. I still turn up at a venue I don't know and I'm not sure if they're going to like the music, and I start playing and it's quiet for the first hour or two. I'm kind of secretly thinking, I hope no one turns up so I don't make a fool of myself. You know, I've been DJing for 20 years and I still get those nerves. You need to learn to deal with this stuff. So we've got resources to help you with all this stuff. And I just wanted to read you a little extract from a really hilarious article that we carried on Digital DJ Tips recently, from a guy who was very honest, and he wrote to us and said, you know, these are the 7 really big mistakes I made on my first ever DJ set live, and I'd like to share them with you so that other readers can see, you know, hopefully learn from them and see how it turned out for me. And he ended his article, I'm going to read it to you. He said, you know, people still danced, more things worked than didn't. While the mistakes were obvious to me, they weren't obvious to the audience. And DJing in front of a live audience was exhilarating, especially at the end of the night. At the end of the night when the nerves went away and I found my flow. Now don't you want that to be you? Don't you want to be that new DJ who's gone through all that rigmarole of getting his first gig and setting up and making your mistakes? But none of it matters, because at the end of the night you're in your flow, you're exhilarated, you're enjoying yourself, and you suddenly think, why didn't I do this earlier? And that's what I want to get across with today's commandment. It is so important to get that first gig. So the resources are in the rest of the blog post that accompanies this video. Please go and read them, please look at them, and if you don't do anything else, before the end of this week, go and get yourself a gig. Read those resources and go and get yourself a gig. It doesn't matter if it's a Tuesday night and you're playing in front of 1, 5 or 10 other people. What's the worst that could happen? It's just a practice session in public. You know, you have to get out there and do it. Real DJs are playing real gigs, and everyone else is just dreaming. And anyone who tells you they're not, believe me, they're not really telling you the truth. Loads of bedroom DJs come on the blog and say, hey, well, I'm quite happy playing in my room. Why do you keep going on about playing live? But you question them and they admit that they're just disillusioned, or they can't find the breaks in their town, or maybe they're just a bit lazy, but they all want to play live, believe me. And I'm sure you do too. So that's our commandment. Play live as soon as you can, and then once you've broken that, once you're starting to play, get gigs as often as you can. It will really reap benefits and it will improve your digital DJing no end. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.